Hi and welcome again to a yin yoga class. Today I have prepared a flow that hopefully it will help us to release any tension in the front of our body, especially when we spend a lot of hours seated. So we will be practicing back bends, extending the lumbar spine, extending the hips. For this class, you may need a bolster or a pillow or even a big towel that you can roll to support some of the postures. Remember, in yin, it's not mandatory to have props, and the best way to use the props is when we use them to be able to stay in the posture for the entire period that we're holding the pose without causing distress anywhere else. That being said, I will meet you back here. Let's start in sitting hopefully on our heels. Resting your hands on your thighs, closing your eyes. Taking the awareness inside. Perhaps observing your breath. We tend to take longer inhalations than exhalations. So let's try to even that up, or maybe even extending the exhalation. Blowing the air through the nose, gently, softly, mindfully. With this type of breathing, when we are more aware of the exhalation, we are actually helping the body to relax. We're targeting the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch of the nervous system that helps us to let go, to fire out the flight or fight response that we live in this alert mode. Taking a few more moments. We will be in this practice for about 45 minutes. So hopefully you are in a space with no distractions, that you can concentrate on your inner world, disconnecting from the outside, free of any distraction. Okay, so let's start. For the first pose, we will need the bolster or pillow or folded blanket that you have. We're going to support our sacrum here to do a supported bridge. We will be in this pose for about 5 minutes. So the bolster is going to help us to elevate the pelvis, to elevate the hip joint so we can extend the hip. We will extend the lumbar spine. Options for your legs, you can keep one knee flexed and extend the other one. Or usually that asymmetrical option is more accessible if you feel kind of like too much in the hips or the lumbar spine, or you can extend both. I will let you know when we are halfway through. So if you decided to do the asymmetrical version, you can change legs. Once you have found your way into the pose, feel comfortable here, closing your eyes. I won't show anything else for the next 5 minutes. So enjoy this passive stretch. We are starting the opening of the anterior side of our body. It tends to be too close, too much for too long. So we want to balance it out. Observing the pattern of your breath, going back to that we were observing at the beginning, perhaps making your exhalations longer than your inhalations, always through the nose. The nose is the organ for breathing, mouth is for talking and eating. It's a backup system for the breath, but it's not the main organ for breathing. So keep your nasal breathing throughout the whole practice, throughout the entire day. Softening the intake of oxygen, slowing the exhalation of CO2. Surrendering with each breath. Acknowledging how your pelvis, the front of your hips is feeling right now. Your abdomen, your chest. We are reaching 2.5 minutes, so if you flex one knee, this is the moment to extend that leg to the front and flex the other knee. And everybody stays exactly where you are. Observing, witnessing without reacting. Remember that the more we advance in our practice, the more time we want to spend in poses. So today I have this suggestion, this variation of classes. Usually we stay in poses 2 to 3 minutes, but I want us to also explore and experiment longer moments in the pose, longer holds. Only 20 seconds remaining. So we're going to place both feet on the floor to elevate the pelvis, to remove the bolster, the pillow, the prop that you have with you. So just keep it to one side. We will need it eventually. And just resting here for a moment, pausing, feeling. And for the next pose, we're going to only roll over. So we will roll over and find ourselves on our belly. There we go. You are in position. Hopefully you are facing the screen. Otherwise, if you need to move around the mat, just be mindful that you move slowly. So for Sphinx pose, the next position that we will be in during 3 minutes, you want to find your elbows Align with your shoulders, palms facing towards each other. The serratus anterior, the muscle that is bringing your shoulders down, is active, so you keep the upper body active, but we relax the legs, the glutes, allow them to be soft. Today we are aiming to contract the lumbar spine. We're aiming to close the space in between vertebrae in the back of the body, because that will mean that we are opening the anterior part, which is the part that when we spend a lot of hours seated, it becomes shorter and we keep closing that part of the spine. So today we're doing the opposite. Allow your abdominal muscles to be soft so the gravity can pull your lumbar spine deeper and deeper. If for whatever reason, for whatever condition, or for your own structure, this relaxation around the lumbar spine, it's too much and it's causing pain instead of discomfort, so that you can engage the abdominal muscles, lifting the navel off the floor. That will support the front of the lumbar spine and will avoid exactly what I just told you that we want. That is the gravity pulling your belly down. You have 1 more minute here. Remember, I will guide you, I will talk a bit during the pose, and then I will allow you to be in silence for a few moments so you can observe what is happening inwards, what is happening within. Have about 20 more seconds in the pose. And for the next variation, the only thing that is changing is our arms. So you can choose to stay here for 2 more minutes, exactly where you are, or you can extend your elbows, placing your hands in each corner of the mat. The closer the hands, the greater the stress for your lumbar spine. That more not necessarily is better, it's just different. The further away your hands, the lesser we are compressing and contracting. So choose what you want to, where you want to be. Either stay in a Sphinx or in sealed pose and stay here for 1.5 minutes, perhaps closing your eyes, observing always your breath. I won't move from here, so you can confidently close your eyes. We have 30 seconds remaining. Hopefully you can keep the stillness of the pose for this last moment. And softly releasing your torso down, perhaps making a pillow with your hands to land softly and reset your spine. neutralizing the spine. Observing the sensations that you may experience around the area that we were targeting, your lower back, the upper fibers of your glutes. Good. To transition to the next pose, push up to tabletop. We are not going to stay necessarily in tabletop, but this is the beginning of the following pose. So make sure that you keep your hips on top of your knees. We will do melting heart pose. We have done this pose before. Again, we always have options in the poses. So you can do the asymmetrical version when you flex one elbow and extend the other arm, or you can do the symmetrical version. I will let you know when we are halfway through. So walk your hands forward. Again, you can flex one elbow and rest your forehead on the forearm if you're doing the asymmetrical version. Otherwise, extend both arms, both elbows. Allow your chest, your head to hang heavy down to the floor. We are again compressing the lumbar spine in a different position, in a different shape, but also lengthening the chest, lengthening the arms, using our body weight and gravity in a deeper way. Be wise in your decisions. I offer you options. Try them. See which one feels effective, not easier, but effective, where it's not too much, it's not too little, it's just right. If you are doing the asymmetrical version, this is the time to change arms. So extend the arm that you were resting your forehead on and bend the other elbow. If you're doing both arms at the same time, just stay here. Twenty seconds remaining. And very mindfully, softly, as if you were moving in slow motion, bring your body up, pause in tabletop, and observe. No need to make any movement here. We want to be as still as possible, engaging the muscles the least. Good. For the next posture, again, options depending on how you feel. We will do antler pose, but this time we will sit out. No, not out. Sit in. We will sit in between our feet. So why I said that the bolster here is optional, because maybe we can do the internal rotation, but the hips are not meeting the floor. Perhaps if you abduct your hips when your knees spread out, you can sit comfortably in between the feet. Otherwise, this is when you will take use of the prop that you have to place it in between your legs. The idea, what we want to achieve here, is the internal rotation. So you want your feet to be out, not necessarily, they don't need to be flexed, they can be pointing back. Again, everything depends on the internal rotation of the hip. So find your variation, either seated completely on the floor, sitting on something, keeping your knees together, or perhaps moving the knees away. See which variation works for you. And 2 minutes here. Close your eyes. What we are aiming with this pose is to internally rotate the femur. Normally when we sit for too long, either our femur is not rotating or we tend to rotate it outwardly, externally. So let's do the opposite. Using this moment that your body, your spine is in a more neutral position to connect with the breathing, that natural pattern of breath that you have, and being more intentional in the length of both inhalation and exhalation. Observing how your body moves. Is only your chest moving? If so, maybe you want to keep moving the air down. So we bring it to the belly. Without breathing more. I'm not asking you to take more oxygen or longer inhalations. Just to move the air down to the belly. And softly release the prop you were using. Perhaps you may want to use it for the upcoming postures. I will offer you some options without prop just in case. So we're going to keep the right knee in the same position. We want to keep the right knee flexed. Again, the knees not necessarily have to come closer to each other. That will depend on the range of motion that we have in the hip joint. So choose which direction your knee will feel more comfortable, either out, neutral, or in. Then options for the hands, we're gonna do half saddle. So we have the option to stay up here. This is option 1. Come to your hands, come to your forearms, go all the way down, either using the bolster behind you. So if you're using the bolster, you want to put it this way. Rest your chest, your torso, and your head. Otherwise, you can come all the way down onto the floor. Resting your hands on the belly or next to your body, above your head. See what works for you today. Remember, the body is different every day. Sometimes the poses are more accessible than other days. We will be here for 2.5 more minutes. 2 minutes, actually. So feel comfortable in the discomfort, if any. We're arching the spine, so if you feel that your spine is not flat on the floor, this is actually what we want. We want to arch the spine. This is a combination of things happening, but mainly extending the hip and extending the lumbar spine. Your left leg is soft. We are not holding the toes in any particular direction. You feel tension around the knee joint is quite expected. We are stretching both attachments of the quads, these big four muscles that cross the knee. So we're getting a good stretch there. Don't worry, remember, as long as it's not shooting electrical harmful pain, we are good to go in the discomfort. Your inner wisdom will tell you if it is pain or discomfort. A few more moments. Good. So wherever you are, start making your way up, using your hands for support if you were all the way down. Pause for a moment. Lean over your left leg and move your right leg softly, gingerly. We have been in that position for a long time. Pause and observe. I love that. At least what I feel is that rush, not only my knee, but also on the dorsal of the foot. Another part that usually we don't stimulate in that direction. We tend to be more on the dorsiflexion of the ankle, so pointing the toes back help us to open that space as well. Good. So left shift to the right, moving your knee out. Your left foot is out. How close is that foot to your hip? It will change person to person. Options to stay up here, to go on your hands, on your forearms, on the bolster, or all the way down. So find a way, take a few moments to land in the pose. We are not rushing anything. Perhaps you will feel that this side feels different than the other one. And once you have found the shape that works for your left side, we will stay here in stillness. Observing your toes, the dorsal of your feet, of your left foot, your ankle, your shin, your knee. Your lumbar spine, your right leg. You find yourself holding, tightening the right leg, softening, letting go. Using this pose, especially if you are all the way on your back, to observe your breath, to see if your belly is rising up. More like in the style of the babies breathe. We have 1 minute to go. Time's up. Use your hands, your arms to bring yourself up. Remember to move very gently. Your joints are sensitive, vulnerable. We are stressing those plastic, hard tissues, so we have to go in a slow motion. Pausing, observing, feeling. And now we have options for the next pose, because I want to continue with the opening of the chest. So sometimes I know saddle is quite a complex pose. So we were preparing with Antler, we were preparing with the asymmetrical option. So options here, as usually I do, we can do supported fish. So you can place the bolster across the mat to support your thoracic spine. You will go back. Let me just demo, because I'm actually doing a different variation for me today. So options to bring the soles of your feet together, resting your thoracic spine on the bolster, lengthening the arms, resting the head behind you. This is one option. This is one variation, or choosing another pose to get similar benefits. Or we can choose to do saddle pose, which means that we will do the same movement that we were doing before, but this time with both legs at the same time. This is when it becomes trickier. So coming to Antler pose, you can land your back on the bolster. I will do that today. Or you can start by sitting as we did before. That's what we have been building up. Sitting in between your feet. You can also use this as a variation, as an option, or you can stay on your hands, forearms, all the way back, either supporting your back and your head on the bolster. Make sure that at least the thoracic spine all the way up to the head is supported. If you're arching the spine, remember this is what we want. Actually, this is what this asana make us do. That sounded weird. This is what this pose wants us to do, I think. Anyway, you got the point. The mechanic of this posture is the back bend, the extension of the lumbar spine, the extension of the hips. So wherever you are, let go. We will stay in silence, observing, witnessing, focusing in. For whatever reason you chose the asymmetrical version, slowly transition to the other side. The half saddle pose we were doing previous to this one. Or if you're doing same thing in both legs, either in supported fish or saddle pose, just stay there. very gently, we're gonna release the pose. So I will guide you through this. Walk your hands, move your body up, your torso up. If you're in fish pose, in the supported fish pose, roll over one side, remove the bolster. Let me remove mine here. And wait for me there on your back. If you're in saddle pose, pause for a moment. And we're going to release the knees very gently, walking your body softly, one knee at a time, one movement at a time. Remember, it's like slow motion. No need to tap anything. Just observe. I'm just walking back to the center. I find myself off the mat. Pausing, feeling, acknowledging. Feel a lot of rush of things moving in my legs, especially the left one. Awesome. So we need to find our way to our back. So move your body weight to one side, releasing your legs. Be aware if you have any prop around you, just in case we're going to twist. So we don't want this, I don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna send it away. If you were doing the supported fish pose, you're already there. We're getting there. Give us a few moments. We will meet everybody down on the back. So we have a twist to do, which is not common, at least I don't see it that often in classes, is cat pulling its tail. That's the name of the pose. So let's see if I can guide you through this. You can follow me. So we're going to bend the knees. This is how we start. And we roll over the right side. So again, every step, you can decide to stay there. Remember, a twist is when we change the position of the hips in relationship with the position of the shoulders. So we move the pelvis this direction, we move the shoulder that direction. That is already a twist. But today, I want you to explore this one. So we are over our right side. Stay with me. This is like twister. With your left hand, try to grab your right foot. So grab the right foot. You can lift the legs for that. That's okay. And once you have it, release it down. So you're gonna actually pull. It's a little bit more active. This is a pose that is has some yang component to that. I won't time this because actually my hands are going to be busy. So bring your knee down and hopefully back. It's like you're doing a back bend. Now, with the left leg, you can keep it on the floor, placing your right hand on top. That is option one. You can extend the leg, the knee, stay there. Maybe you can see if you can grab the outside of your left foot. Play with that. We will be here for about 2 minutes. And if your left shoulder is off the floor, it's fine. Just enjoy this, pulling the knee, not actively, just pull it just to stay in the pose. And then sustain that stretch in the front of your right leg. Perhaps arching your torso back. So we have a twist, a mild extension of the spine. We're lengthening the legs, stretching obliques. We're doing a lot of things with this pose. Using every breath to keep going deeper, deeper in your awareness, being present, here and now. There's nothing else that matters. We are here doing this, feeling this. So this is where we want to be. This is where we're meant to be right now. Not in yesterday, not in the future, in tomorrow, and later. Here. Taking all in. To be with us is so great to be. We tend to do all the time. While doing, we forget being. So take these moments to be. A few more seconds here. And this is the beauty of advancing in the practice of yin, is that the more we hold the poses, at least this is how I feel, because my body starts feeling more open and welcoming the pose in a better way. My mind is calmer. I actually want to stay a bit longer and longer. But it's time to let go. So let go. Wherever you are, we will meet back in the center. So make your way very softly, gingerly to the center of the mat, pausing. We will do the other side soon. Just pause and observe. So now with both knees together, we will do the other side. So let's see how it goes. So drop your knees to the left. Remember, you have the opportunity, you have the option to stay here. Otherwise, with your right hand, bring your left foot back, drop it down, drop it back. Then the left hand over the right knee that comes to the floor. You can extend the leg. You can grab the outside of your right foot with your left hand. Gaze in any direction that you feel your neck is comfortable with. And enjoy being wherever you are. There is no judgment here, at least that it shouldn't be any judgment. You're not supposed to look like anybody. You can look just like you. So each asana will give you what you need. You will benefit in the way that your body, your mind, your energetic body needs and wants. Perhaps you can hear strong sound behind me. I have an airplane flying over me. So let's use that deep roar in the back to bring us back to the present, and it's gone. There's a army base somewhere here in Goa. So sometimes when they are doing their practice, you can hear those airplanes coming very low. It looks that today is a day of practice for them too. So let's use every sound, every distraction to bring you back into the present moment. This is what is happening right now. Only a few more moments. And very gingerly, let go. Making your way back to the center. Stopping here for a moment. Now bring both knees to the chest. We were doing asymmetrical poses, and also we were doing a lot of back bends, so this will help us to counterbalance all of that. Keep your knees together, hugging your thighs. No need to rock anywhere side to side. That is such a conditioning that we have from other styles of yoga. Just be still. Yin is the art of being still, comfortable with the discomfort, in silence with yourself. So take the opportunity to embrace all that. Few more moments. Feeling the weight of our legs on top of our belly, pressing the lumbar spine down. That is what it will release. What we have been doing. We have been contracting, shortening, closing the posterior part of the lumbar spine. That was the aim of doing all those back bends. So with this forward fold, we're bringing the opposite to the same area. And we're gonna release the legs, moving your body all the way down to your beloved Savasana. I hope you love it as much as I do. This is where our nervous system can actually relax and let go. Palms facing up, toes and knees dropping to anywhere they will go when you relax the muscles. Hips are soft. Face, relax. Your eyes close. Melting, surrendering, dissolving on the mat. We will be here for a few minutes. If you have more time, please stay here for a bit longer. And if not, we will wiggle our toes and fingers, awakening the legs and the arms. Lengthening, stretching. Flexing both knees. Rolling onto one side to support you, to help you to come back to a seated position. Pausing here for a moment. Remember to move very gently when you're leaving the mat, going back to your activities. So take it easy, take it slow. And I will meet you back here in another practice, another class very soon. Thank you. Have a good day or good night. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you like this class, please let me know by clicking the like button and commenting below this video, and I will reply to your questions and your comments. Joseph Pilates once said, "You are as young as your spine is flexible. If you're stiff at 30, you're old. If you're flexible at 60, you're young." Unfortunately, nowadays we spend a lot of time in front of a screen, and a lot of people are developing bad postures and pain in their back. To help you preventing and overcoming back-related issues, I have created the Back Pain Relief Program. If you want to learn about your spine, how to practice poses in an effective way, and how to get and maintain a healthy spine, this program is for you. For more information and to register in this program, click the first link below this video, and I hope to see you in this program very soon.